That bag sitting in your closet right now, the one you paid $250 for on Amazon, it will not save your life. Not because you did something wrong, because the people who built it were never trying to save your life. They were trying to sell you something. I spent $25 at Walmart last Tuesday. 10 items. The entire kit fits in a cargo pocket, and it covers every single survival function that bag does, and for that, it doesn't. One item on this list costs under $1. The United States Army has been using it since Vietnam. By the end of this video, you will never look at a survival kit the same way again. Before I show you the 10 items, you need to understand one thing the survival industry hopes you never learn. It comes from SERE School. Survival, evasion, resistance, escape. The same training the military runs for personnel operating in hostile environments. And the first thing they teach before any gear, before any technique, is a framework called the Rule of Threes. You can survive 3 minutes without air. You can survive 3 hours without shelter in harsh conditions. You can survive 3 days without water. You can survive 3 weeks without food. Read that again slowly. 3 hours without shelter. Not 3 days, not 3 weeks. 3 hours. That is what kills people in survival situations. Not hunger, not thirst. Exposure. Thermoregulation failure. Your body loses heat, your decision-making collapses, and you die. Hurricane Katrina after-action reports confirmed it. Joplin tornado survivor documentation confirmed it. Every conflict zone field report for the past 30 years confirmed it. The #1 preventable killer in every documented survival scenario is exposure. And here is what makes that so important. The $250 Amazon kit addresses problems that will not kill you for 3 weeks and almost completely ignores the problem that kills you in 3 hours. Shelter comes first. Water comes second. Fire comes third. Everything else is a luxury. That is not my opinion. That is doctrine. Now let me show you what $25 actually builds. Item 1. Orange contractor trash bags. $3 to $4 for a pack. And before you close this video, stay with me. Because this is not what you think it is. First, the color matters more than the bag itself. Not black, orange. That color is doing 2 completely separate jobs. A black bag hides you. An orange bag saves you. Search and rescue teams can spot that color from the air, from a helicopter, from a mile away, in conditions where nothing else is visible. That is your first function. Aerial signaling. Built into the color, now here is what the bag itself does. Cut a hole in the bottom and 2 holes on the sides. You have an emergency poncho? Rain protection in 30 seconds. No tools required. Do not cut it at all. Climb inside. You have just built what the Army Survival Manual calls a vapor barrier shelter. Your body radiates heat constantly. A plastic barrier traps that radiated heat against your skin. Field testing shows a 10 to 15 degree Fahrenheit interior temperature gain from this method alone. That is the difference between functional and hypothermic. Now lay it flat on the ground beneath you. Most people insulate on top and freeze from below. They do not know that ground conduction pulls heat out of your body faster than cold air does. That bag between you and the earth stops that heat loss completely. And during rainfall, spread it open. You have a water collection surface feeding into any container you have. 1 bag, 5 functions, signaling rain protection, vapor barrier, shelter, ground insulation, water collection. The commercial equivalents of those 5 functions bought separately run $60 to $80. You paid $3? That is your first lesson in cost per function. And it is a lesson the survival industry does not want you to run on every item in that $250 kit. Running total $4. Item 2. Bic IC lighters. $1 each. Buy 2. There is a reason every military survival instructor on the planet carries a Bic and not a ferro rod. 3,000 ignitions per unit. One-hand operation works when your hands are shaking from cold and adrenaline. And here is the part the prepper industry never talks about. Under survival stress, your fine motor skills are the first thing to go. Your hands shake. Your coordination drops. Your grip strength decreases. These are documented physiological responses to cold exposure and adrenaline. They are not optional. They happen to everyone. The ferro rod that the prepper industry pushes requires technique. It requires 2 hands. It requires controlled, deliberate motion. It requires practice. Most people who own a ferro rod have struck it maybe twice. In their backyard? On a dry afternoon? With calm hands? That is not a survival scenario. The trained response to fine motor skill degradation is not practice more with your ferro rod. The trained response is to carry ignition that eliminates technique from the equation entirely. A Bic lighter is that ignition. You are carrying 2 for redundancy. 1 fails, you have a backup. 6,000 total ignitions between 2 lighters. That is enough fire starting capability for months of daily use. Running total $6. Item 3. Emergency mylar blankets. 2 pack. $2 to $3. These are not comfort items. Do not let the crinkly silver material fool you. They are engineered radiant heat reflectors. Aluminized mylar reflects up to 90% of your radiated body heat back to you. That is not marketing. That is physics. Now think about what you already have. You have an orange contractor bag, you have mylar blankets, wrap the mylar around yourself inside the contractor bag shelter, and you have just built a layered thermoregulation system that addresses heat loss through two completely separate mechanisms. The bag traps convective heat, the warmth your body creates in the air around you. The mylar reflects radiant heat, the infrared energy your body emits constantly. Together they do what no single commercial product under $50 can match. Lay one flat on the ground under you. You have blocked conductive heat loss into the earth. Hang one behind a small fire and it becomes a heat reflector that bounces thermal energy back toward you. Your fire is now heating you from two directions. And in daylight, the reflective surface works as a signaling mirror. Rescue aircraft can spot reflected light from miles away. 4 functions, $2 to $3. Running total, $9. Stop for a second. You are $9 in. You have shelter from the cold, protection from rain, fire starting capability, and a signaling system that search and rescue can spot from the air. The 2-100-N-50- kit needs 15 items to do what you just did with 3. But here is where it gets uncomfortable, because the next 2 items are things the survival industry will never put in a kit. Not because they do not work, because they do not photograph well for an Amazon listing. Item 4. Unlubricated condoms. $3 to $4 for a box. I know what you were thinking. Stay with me. Because the United States Army already thought about this and put it in the official survival manual, FM 21-276, the Army Survival Manual. It documents the condo as a field expedient water carrier. One standard condom holds approximately 1 liter of water when supported inside a sock or a bandana. It is a collapsible, packable, completely waterproof container that weighs nothing and takes up 0 space in your kit. You can carry a full liter of water from a source back to your shelter without any rigid container at all. Now, here is the second function. Stretch one over your tinder bundle before the rain starts. You have just created a waterproof storage bag for dry tinder matches, medications, or any small item that cannot get wet. Unlubricated is critical. Lubricated condoms contaminate water and make everything they touch slippery and unusable. Unlubricated only. The reason this item appears in military manuals and almost 0 commercial kits is simple. It does not look tactical. It does not photograph well. It does not fit the aesthetic that the survival industry sells. The people who designed those commercial kits were designing for shelf appeal. The people who wrote FM 21-76 were designing for people who needed to not die. Running total $13. Item 5. Water purification tablets. $4 to $5. Sodium dichlorosocyanate-based tablets. 1 tablet treats 1 liter. Drop it in. Wait 30 minutes. Drink. The chemistry eliminates bacteria, viruses, and most protozoan cysts. This is the same chemical purification method used in military field water treatment. No pumping, no batteries, no moving parts, no skill required. Now look at what you have built. The contractor bag collects water. The condom carries it back to your shelter. The tablet purifies it. Collection, transport, purification. A complete water procurement system. 3 items. Under $12 total. The commercial kit that covers those same 3 functions starts at $45. Running total $18. You have spent $18? Shelter, thermoregulation, fire signaling, and a complete water system. 5 of the 7 core survival functions. Handled. Done. Item 6. Mini sewing kit. $1 to $2 for mini travel section. Do not skip this one. The obvious function is gear repair. Your contractor bag tears, you patch it. Your clothing rips, you close it. But here is what most people miss entirely. FM 21-276 documents the magnetized needle compass. You stroke the needle against silk or your hair in one direction repeatedly. This aligns the magnetic domains in the steel. Floated on a leaf on still water and it points north. You now have a backup compass. Built from a $1 item you were already carrying. The heavy thread doubles as fishing line. Strong enough to hold small fish. Rig a hook from a bent safety pin and you have a fishing setup. That same thread works as snare cord for small game, as lashing material for improvised splints. Every function here is a secondary capability hiding inside a $1 item. Running total $20. You are $20 in. Shelter, water, fire, navigation, signaling, all covered. And I still have not shown you the item I mentioned at the beginning, the one under $1. The one the Army has been using since Vietnam. That is next. And when you hear what it does, you are going to be angry that nobody told you sooner. Item 7. Duct tape. $2 to $3. Wrap 30 to 40 turns around. One of your big gliders? Same tape. 0 extra space. Wound closure. Take a strip of tape across a laceration to hold the edges together. Functional wound closure that stops bleeding and keeps debris out until you reach proper care. Blister treatment. Cover a hot spot before it becomes a blister and you stay mobile. Mobility is survival. The moment you cannot walk, your situation degrades from survival to rescue dependency. Tape a rigid stick alongside a broken finger or a sprained wrist and you have immobilized the injury. Your contractor bag tears in the wind, tape it. Your mylar blanket develops a hole, tape it. Cut it into thin strips and you have improvised cordage for lashing. Running total, $22. Item 8. This is the one I have been holding. Trial size petroleum jelly. Under $1, you have seen this in every pharmacy in America your entire life. It sits next to the bandages. It has been there for decades. Most people walk right past it. Here is what it actually is. Take a cotton ball. Smear petroleum jelly into it completely. Light it with your BIC lighter. It burns for 3 to 4 minutes. Not seconds. Minutes. A steady, controlled, reliable flame hot enough to ignite wet, tinder damp kindling and marginal fuel that would never catch from a bare spark. In cold rain, in high wind, when everything around you is completely soaked, this combination gives you fire. And this is the fire starting technique taught in survival schools. Not ferro rods, not magnesium blocks. A petroleum jelly, cotton ball, and a lighter. Apply it to your feet before a long movement and it reduces friction. Prevents blisters before item 7 even becomes necessary. Apply it to a wound as a moisture barrier. Apply it to dry, cracked skin in cold weather. 1 item. 5 functions. Under $1. Name one product in any commercial survival kit that delivers 5 functions for under $1. You cannot, because the survival industry does not optimize for function per dollar. It optimizes for shelf appeal per dollar. Running total $23. Item 9. Single edge. Razor blades? $2 for a pack. Surgical precision cutting that no survival knife can match for detail work. Processing tinder into fine shavings to catch a flame instantly. Cutting medical tape to exact size. Precision work on cordage and snare. Construction. Cleaning small game. Scoring and splitting small wood pieces for kindling. Wrap the spine in duct tape and you have a functional micro-cutting tool that fits in a wallet. The commercial alternative is a $15 to $30 survival knife that does rough work well but detail work poorly. You are not replacing a knife. You are adding a precision edge that weighs almost nothing. Running total $25. Item 10. Cotton bandana. $1 to $2. Highest function count item in the entire kit. 7 documented uses from a single piece of cotton. Pre-filter for water. Fold it into layers and pour collected water through it before the purification tablet goes in. Removes sediment and large debris. Pressure dressing. Fold it thick. Press it against a wound. Tie it in place. Functional compression. Bandage. Dust mask, fold it, triangular, tie it behind your head, wildfire, smoke, concrete dust, airborne debris, sun protection, drape it over your neck, prevent sunburn, that compounds dehydration, signal flag, tie it to a stick and wave it, pot holder, grab hot rocks to position near your shelter for radiant warmth. Bundle carrier, wrap your smaller kit items inside it for organized transport. 7 functions. Under $2. A purpose-built trauma bandage alone costs $8. Nispaniola does that job and 6 more. Final running total, $25 to $27. 10 items, $25. The entire kit fits in a cargo pocket, not a backpack. A pocket, shelter, water, fire, signaling, medical, navigation, every core survival function covered. But here is what this kit actually is. It is proof. Proof that the survival industry was never selling you preparation. It was selling you the feeling of preparation. And those are 2 completely different things. The $2-100-and-$50 bag in your closet makes you feel ready. It is heavy, it is full, it has a lot of compartments and a lot of items with tactical names on the labels. But feeling ready and being ready in the wrong situation is a gap that costs lives. This kit does not feel impressive. It fits in a pocket. It looks like things you already own. But every single item in it was chosen the same way. The military chooses field equipment, function, reliability, cost, multi-use capability, not aesthetics, not branding, not shelf appeal. The people who survive are not the ones who spent the most. They are the ones who understood the problem before they needed to. You now understand the problem. If this changed how you think about what is sitting in your closet right now, hit like. It takes 1 second, and it helps other people find this information before they need it. Comment below which item surprised you the most. Drop the number. I read every single one. Next video, I am covering the 7 water storage methods veterans use before every crisis, including one that costs under $20 and holds over 100 gallons. Subscribe now. That video is coming this week, and you do not want to see the water video without having seen this one first.